The Amazon River is vast, mysterious, and brimming with life. But beneath its murky waters lurks a creature with a fearsome reputation. Razor-sharp teeth, crushing jaws, and an insatiable hunger. Stories tell of piranhas swarming in a feeding frenzy, stripping animals, and even humans, to the bone in mere seconds. But how much of this is true? Are piranhas really as deadly as the movies claim? Can they actually kill a human? And if you ever found yourself surrounded by a school of these razor-toothed fish, would you survive? In this video, we'll separate fact from fiction, dive into the real science behind piranha behavior, and uncover the truth about their so-called killer instincts. And let us break down exactly what to do if you ever come face to face with a swarm of piranhas. Let's dive in. For decades, piranhas have been cast as the villains in horror movies and exaggerated tales, often portrayed as ruthless, bloodthirsty predators that can strip a body to the bone in seconds. Their razor-sharp teeth and lightning-fast movements have fueled the myth that they are relentless flesh eaters, always on the hunt for their next victim. In reality, piranhas thrive in the freshwater rivers, lakes, and floodplains of South America, with the Amazon River being their most famous habitat. These biodiverse waters provide ample food and shelter, supporting over 30 different species of piranhas, each varying in size, color, and behavior. While many species are relatively harmless, some have developed a reputation for aggression under certain conditions. Among the most well-known is the red-bellied piranha, easily recognized by its striking red underbelly and formidable bite. This species is often at the center of sensationalized stories about feeding frenzies. Another notable species is the black piranha, which possesses one of the strongest bite forces relative to its body size in the entire animal kingdom. But beyond their fearsome reputation, piranhas play a crucial role in the ecosystem. As scavengers, they help maintain the health of their environment by consuming dead and decaying matter, preventing the spread of disease. Despite their intimidating appearance, most piranhas are timid and cautious, preferring to avoid large animals, including humans, unless threatened. Despite their fearsome reputation, piranha attacks on humans are incredibly rare. While there have been documented cases of people being bitten, these incidents are usually isolated nips rather than full-scale feeding frenzies. Most bites happen when piranhas feel threatened, are defending their territory, or are in survival mode due to extreme environmental conditions. In times of drought, when water levels drop and food becomes scarce, piranhas may become more aggressive out of desperation. However, this is not because they see humans as prey, it's simply a reaction to hunger and stress. Another common reason for piranha bites is nest defense. During the breeding season, certain species, like the red-bellied piranha, become highly territorial. They will fiercely protect their eggs from anything they perceive as a threat, including a stray hand or foot in the water. While movies often show piranhas being drawn to the scent of blood, they are more likely to be curious than aggressive. Rapid splashing or sudden movements may startle them, but this doesn't mean they will instantly attack. While their sharp teeth can certainly inflict painful bites, these are usually defensive rather than predatory. So, if piranhas aren't the relentless man-eaters that movies suggest, what would actually happen if you found yourself in piranha-infested waters? Would they swarm instantly, or would they simply ignore you? Falling into piranha-filled waters might sound like a nightmare, but in reality, you'd likely emerge completely unharmed. Despite their razor-sharp teeth and fearsome reputation, piranhas don't see humans as food, and full-blown attacks are incredibly rare. In fact, recorded fatal piranha attacks are virtually non-existent, with most encounters resulting in nothing more than small, defensive bites. However, in a worst-case scenario, such as during the dry season, when water levels drop, food becomes scarce, and piranhas are in survival mode, it is possible to receive multiple bites, especially if you're injured and thrashing in the water. But even then, the idea of being devoured alive in seconds is pure Hollywood fiction. Piranhas are actually most aggressive when resources are limited, particularly during severe droughts, when shrinking water levels force them into cramped spaces with fewer food sources. Additionally, during breeding season, they become highly territorial and will fiercely protect their nests, biting anything that comes too close. But despite these situations, millions of people in the Amazon swim in piranha-infested waters daily, without issue. Even local fishermen often wade waist-deep while catching fish, and many have reported that piranhas rarely bother them unless provoked. While the chances of being attacked by piranhas are low, it's still important to know how to handle yourself if you ever find yourself in their territory. If you ever end up in a river filled with piranhas, staying calm is your best defense. Panicking and splashing frantically can make you appear like an injured or struggling animal, exactly the kind of movement that might pique a piranha's curiosity. Instead, move slowly and smoothly toward the shore, minimizing disturbances in the water. Piranhas are far more likely to leave you alone if you don't seem like a threat or an easy meal. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is entering the water with an open wound. While piranhas don't typically hunt humans, they have an excellent sense of smell and may be drawn to the scent of blood, especially if food is scarce. Timing also plays a critical role in safety. Avoid swimming during feeding frenzies or the dry season when piranhas are at their hungriest. These are the times when the risk of an aggressive encounter is highest. If you're unsure whether it's safe to enter the water, always pay attention to local advice. Many people who live along the Amazon have spent generations coexisting with piranhas and know exactly when and where it's risky to swim. Ultimately, while piranhas can be dangerous under certain conditions, they are not the relentless killers they're often made out to be. By respecting their habitat and understanding their behavior, you can safely share the water with these fascinating creatures. When it comes to piranhas, the truth is simple. They are far more misunderstood than menacing. Despite their fearsome reputation, these fish are not ruthless predators, but rather cautious scavengers that play a vital role in maintaining the health of their ecosystem. They help keep South America's rivers clean by consuming dead and decaying matter, preventing the spread of disease and supporting the delicate balance of aquatic life. While piranhas can become aggressive under extreme conditions, such as food scarcity or territorial defense, they generally avoid large animals, including humans. The Hollywood portrayal of these creatures is built on exaggeration and fear, but in reality, they are far less threatening than the myths suggest. As long as you respect their habitat, avoid provoking them, and take common-sense precautions, piranhas are not something to fear, but rather a fascinating species worthy of appreciation. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the truth about piranhas. If you enjoyed exploring interesting stories with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. What topics do you want us to dive into next? Let us know in the comments. Join us as we get animated about science here at Animated Science.